Hi Reynarants, it's me, Vijayreyna, back here again with another video. I know this is not my typical setting or my lighting. For those of you, I'll talk about that in a second. But for those of you guys who are new to my channel, my name is Vijayreyna. I make videos about pageantry amongst other things. If you want to join the Reyna family, go ahead and just hit the subscription button down below. Also, my social media will be linked in the description box as well as in the pinned comment section. So feel free to interact with me and follow me on Instagram if you want to. I'm in this little like suit or whatever because I had a few job interviews. So yay for me, they went well. And I'm not in my regular room with my audio and lighting and everything because like I said in my last video, I'm going to be traveling a lot right now. So I'm traveling a lot. So I'm pretty exhausted, but I'm trying to fit in what I can for you guys to keep you guys feeling, like, I'm attending to you guys because I love you guys. You guys are my family. So okay, so you guys, there has been a lot that's going on in this universe. So if you guys are not aware, there's so much drama, so much going on, and every time that I sit down to record this video, I go on my Instagram feed or I go on my TikTok and there is a new development, a new drama happening. And I think drama is really a light word for the catastrophe that is happening with Miss Universe. Honestly, as someone who is in love with Miss Universe, someone who loves Miss Universe, who wants to see the longevity of this organization and even the growth of it, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed and I'm scared. Like, I have not been a pageant analyst long enough for this thing to just be destroyed and come down the way it is. I'm like, oh my gosh. And like, relax a little bit. Okay, I need you to slow down and get out of the cameras. Okay, no more Anne being in front of any media at all. Please keep her away from the media. Whoever is the PR team of Miss Universe, whoever is the social media strategist, whoever is the business analyst, keep Anne away from the media. Okay, let's get into it. As always, this is a nose ring. Okay, not a booger. A nose ring. Okay, cool. So, all right, where do we even begin with everything that's going on? So basically, it all started when Miss Universe Denmark was crowned Miss Universe 2024 at the Miss Universe 2024 edition. And as per tradition, the Miss Universe who's elected, the newly crowned Miss Universe rather, she has a little bit of a media press conference immediately after the crowning. So like typical, Miss Universe Denmark, who became Miss Universe, went in front of the media, and she had a little bit of a media like press conference, and they get to put the queen out. The Miss Universe organization gets to put the queen out in front of the media, kind of like show her to the world and let them get to know her a little bit. She gets to do a little bit of a speech. The media can ask her some fun questions. We just get to know the queen a little bit, because obviously there's 100, especially with this edition, there was 130 girls or 125 who ended up competing. It's possible that a lot of people did not get to know Miss Denmark during her time prior to the competition or during the competition. So there's just a little bit of a way for us as audience members to kind of get a connect to our new Miss Universe. So everything was going fine. It was, pretty typical, minus the continental winners. That's different, but not a big deal. Like, nothing was out of the ordinary. Until Miss Coon Ann. So Coon Ann, for those of you guys who are not familiar, is the owner of Miss Universe. She shares ownership with Raul, who is a Mexicano who also owns the Miss Universe organization alongside Coon Ann from Thailand. Coon Ann is a trans Thai woman, and I mentioned that for a particular reason, which we will talk about later. So one of the interviewers, and I'll put the clips of what I'm talking about in the screen, like somewhere, so you guys can see what I'm saying. But an interviewer essentially asked Coon Ann, where do you see the Miss Universe organization going? How do you see the evolution of the Miss Universe organization? Or what is the evolution to come of the Miss Universe organization? Which, yeah, that's okay, cool. They just wanted to know a little bit more about how is Miss Universe revolutionizing? How is it going to continue to develop? How's it going to grow? And Coon Ann, instead of just answering instead of answering the question, Coon Ann decides she's going to respond with evolution. Evolution. We have blonde hair. We have blue eyes. We have the ultimate evolution. In her words, the ultimate evolution. Now, for those of you who aren't familiar, obviously I'll put a picture of Miss Universe 2024 here, but she has blonde hair, blue eyes, white skin, which she did not mention the white skin, but she did mention the blonde hair, blue eyes. This riled up a lot of people, you guys. Some people took it as, okay, that's not what she meant. She didn't mean it in any type of racially charged way or having to a negative connotation. It's just it's a simple matter of English. As we know, Kun An comes from Thailand, and she is not a native English speaker, but I would say she has pretty good command of the English language. So I wouldn't call her at all a novice speaker. I would say she has a pretty good command. There are some times where she speaks English as a native English speaker where it's not completely there, but there's nothing that she says that is unintelligible, if that makes sense. I can understand everything, even if the grammar is a little bit improper. So, you know, a lot of people were saying maybe it's just the way she formatted the sentence. Maybe that's not what she meant to say. The meaning behind what she said was different from what she actually said. And sure, maybe we really don't know. But what I will say is moving forward, what I will say is that the other half of people were not happy. The people who were not happy were saying pretty much, one, it is an insult to the former Miss Universe, Shanice Palacio. So Shanice Palacio gave up her reign and her crown as Miss Universe 2023 the same exact day and night of this press conference, because she gave it up during the finales, and Denmark pretty much gained it that same night. So for people to hear that Kun An is saying on the last day of Shanice Palacio's reign that the ultimate evolution is blonde hair, blue eyes, when Shanice herself is a brown-skinned, dark-haired, dark brown-eyed woman, it felt like a little bit, maybe to other people, I'm just reporting what people are saying. I'm not saying my own personal feelings quite yet, but people report that they feel like it was a little bit of a shade, or if it was a little bit of a downplay to Shanice Palacio and frankly all the other winners, because we haven't had a blue hair, blonde-eyed blue hair a blonde hair, blue-eyed winner since 2004. Miss Universe Australia, I believe, was the last one that we had. So people felt like for the last almost 20 years or so that we have had non-blonde hair, non-blue-eyed winners. Are they not the ultimate either? So a lot of people felt that it was very insulting. People also felt like it was a downplay to all the queens who competed that were not blonde-haired and blue-eyed. If Kun An does, you know, allegedly carry the idea or the feeling that blonde hair and blue eyes are the ultimate evolution, was Miss Denmark pre-picked? That's some questions that people have, because they feel like, what about all the other contestants? A lot of people argue that Nigeria and Thailand had a better answer during the top 5 than Miss Universe Denmark. Some argue that she didn't. So again, I'm just reporting what people are saying. I haven't yet stated my opinion, so don't come at me. I'm just kind of catching you guys up to speed, if that makes sense. So yeah, some people felt that way as well. Some people felt like it was completely racist and that it gave subtle hints towards a allegedly an ideology towards a very, for bad reasons, known historical figure who also believed that blonde hair and blue eyes were the ultimate evolution. And if you get what I'm saying, Hitler, if you get what I'm saying. So again, I'm not giving my opinion. I'm just stating what people are reporting and how they feel about it and what I have heard on the internet and from some of my arenas so far regarding the situation. So it was very mixed feelings to what Kun An said. Some people felt like, don't take it so literal. It's just a matter of how she said it. Not, you know, it's not what she meant. Some people were saying, no, that's exactly what she meant. So where do I stand on it? Where I stand on it is, one, there's no reason for Kun An to even be in front of the media that much anyways. I understand maybe she wants to get in front of the media in order to answer some questions, particularly about the organization. And since it was Miss Universe Denmark's Victoria, I'm just going to call her Victoria from now on. Since it was Victoria's not even first day really as Miss Universe, it does not make sense to really have her speak as a spokesperson from the organization right away. She obviously needs to get familiar with the organization, with the ropes of the organization, how it works, what they stand for, and really be a Miss Universe at least for a few weeks before she can be a true solidified spokesperson for the Miss Universe organization. So on that end, I understand that Kun An wanted to maybe answer some questions involving the organization. But first and foremost, Victoria had just won the crown. I think that it was completely appropriate to just give her the spotlight, at least for one day. Geez, give her, for her, not even one day, for half the day. It's really just the night. It's one press conference. You really could have just left it alone to Victoria to have on her own and handle on her own. There was no need to be part of it. So I do think there is some attention-seeking behavior, and that attention-seeking behavior is leading to catastrophes and moments like this. This is not the first time. Furthermore, people have had some questioning regarding Miss Universe's diversity and inclusion. Is their whole thing about diversity and inclusion legitimate, or is it just a marketing scheme? Are they actually standing up and adopting diversity and inclusion in the organization, or are they just doing it for marketing purposes and to make Miss Universe seem more modern in today's society, where we do have a big push for diversity and inclusion in different sectors? And this started to be this whole idea of, is the diversity and inclusion in Miss Universe legitimate, or is it just a ploy for marketing and for more attention? This came into question before this press conference with Victoria, post Miss Universe 2024 coronation. This actually happened after a video surfaced of Kun Ann's, and I'll put the video here, but pretty much, as we know, trans women, pregnant women, women who are divorced, women who are married or in relationships, and women with children are now, and women of all ages are now allowed to compete at the Miss Universe competition. And some of these rules were implemented prior to Kun Ann acquiring Miss Universe, and some of them were implemented while under the JKN era. JKN is the company that Kun Ann owns. So some of these, efforts to make Miss Universe more diverse and inclusive happened during Kun Ann's ownership. So there was a video that surfaced of Kun Ann pretty much saying that yes, trans women and women with children, like mothers, can compete, but they cannot win.
It's a strategic communication actually, because you understand, you would understand it very well right now. They can compete, but they can. But we just put the policy out there in order to have social inclusion. Social inclusion, and plus people will say that.
Now, Kun Ann rebutted when this video surfaced, and when the video surfaced, people were very upset because they felt like, well, you have marketed Miss Universe as a diverse and inclusive space, and you have even had at this point some trans women and some mothers at the competition competing for the Miss Universe title, but here you are behind the scenes pretty much saying that they will never win. And Kun Ann responded, and I'll try to find the statement if I can of her response, but pretty much she responded stating that this video is really misinformed. It's painting me in a negative light. It's pretty much, it's not painting the full picture, and it's not what it looks like. She wasn't saying I'm sorry, or I understand you guys is upset. It was nothing of that nature. It was completely denying these claims that this is what she said. Hey, I don't know, this you guys can watch the video and decide for yourself whether the video is painting Kun Ann out in a bad light, or whether Kun Ann is just avoiding responsibility and accountability for her own words. But because of that video, there was already a little bit of shakiness in terms of, is the diversity and inclusion that Miss Universe has been adopting legitimate, or is it just a marketing ploy, a marketing scheme? And now with her using the words of blonde hair, blue eyes, ultimate evolution, it further puts into the question, is the diversity and inclusion of Miss Universe legitimate? Because now you have contestants like, again, Nigeria and Thailand, who are in the top two, which many audience members felt were more deserving based off of solely the question and answer. And even Catriona Gray herself, Miss Universe 2018, stated the following. I'll put the video here.
Medyo nagulat din ako sa the landing of the top 5. I had different predictions. Of course, I'm
yours
not a judge
was Thailand and Nigeria.
Because I put a lot of weight on Q&A. That's the kind of judge that I would be if ever I were to sit in the seat. But that's not to say that every judge is like that. And I don't know the criteria of Miss Universe actually, because I've never sat as a judge yet. But I mean, I think Denmark will do an incredible job as our new Miss Universe. I'm sure she'll be very well traveled like her predecessor.
So as you can see, even predominant figures in the pageantry space also put into question whether or not Miss Denmark, based on the Q&A, whether Miss Denmark was deserving of the win. Me personally, I do feel like both Thailand and Nigeria gave stronger answers than Miss Universe Denmark. However, I did feel like Miss Universe Denmark was in my top 3. So I wasn't outraged that she won or anything. I'm not outraged when anyone wins, because I don't understand the point of getting mad over a result that's already solidified and done. I understand being a little bit disappointed because your favorite does not win. You're like, oh man, but I'm not going to start having a hissy fit over it, However, I agree. I do think that it does kind of make the diversity and inclusion of Miss Universe kind of be put into further questioning, because it is a little bit curious that you mentioned that, and it is kind of insulting to all the past winners who are not blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And a lot of people feel like this whole blonde-haired and blue-eye is so revolutionary. We haven't had one since for 20 years, but they forget the years and years and years of Miss Universe winners who were blonde or who were Caucasian or who had blue eyes. Now, that does not mean that we should just start outcasting blonde-haired, blue-eyed women and start attacking them and saying, no, you don't, no, blah, blah, blah. You know, like, I'm just saying there's been countless of Miss Universes who have blonde hair, blue eyes, and it's not just because it hadn't been around for 20 years. I mean, how many times have we had a black Miss Universe? I can count it on my fingers. You know, how many times have we had an Indian Miss Universe? Again, I can count it on my fingers. How many times have we had a Filipina Miss Universe? I can count it on my fingers. So I think it definitely does, if anything, put the diversity and inclusion that Miss Universe has been pushing into question. And it also is a little bit undermining of the winners who are not blonde-haired and blue-eyed. And it also puts a lot of contestants who have aspirations of Miss Universe into questioning as well. There are many Miss Universe aspirants who have reported since that interview with Kunan that they are not sure whether or not they should even compete, that this is the love of their life. Miss Universe is the love of their life, and they were looking forward to compete, and this has been a childhood dream. And hearing statements like that really feels like their childhood dream is just now out of reach because they're not that ultimate evolution that Kunan is speaking to. Things got even worse because Donald Trump Jr., who is the son of Donald Trump, the newly elected president, he has not been in office yet, but he will be later, and Elon Musk, they both made a tweet on X. I guess is it still called tweet because it's no longer called Twitter, it's called X now. I'll put it up here, but essentially Donald Trump Jr. said something along the lines of, you know, it's so refreshing to finally see biological and objectively beautiful women win beauty pageants again, like the world is restored, something of that nature. And Elon Musk echoed that. He like took a screenshot of it or something and posted it on his X as well. Kunan and Raul, who are both the owners of Miss Universe, shared these posts. Now, I think they shared these posts because the thing is, with people like Kunan and Raul, allegedly, in my opinion, this is not me stating a fact or accusing them of anything, but they're very much in the direction of any attention is good attention, whether the attention is bad or good. And so Donald Trump Jr. and Elon Musk, whether or not you agree with their politics, they have a large audience. They have a very large following. I'm not going to put my personal opinion out on either of these two men because I am a citizen of the US and I can get backlash in terms of employment and all that type of stuff. So for my own sake, I'm going to keep my opinion out of this. I'm just going to report what the facts are. The facts are they tweeted this, and Raul and Kunan, they posted it on their Instagram stories. And this was really perplexing. One, because of the statement made by Donald Trump Jr. about biological and objectively beautiful women being able to win Miss Universe. It makes a statement that prior to any prior Miss Universe, again, who didn't look like the current Miss Universe, was not objectively beautiful. That's what you're pretty much saying. And a lot of people feel like the reason why Donald Trump Jr. even made that statement is because Victoria is Caucasian and she has blonde hair and blue eyes. Now, whether that's the truth or not, I'm again going to omit my opinion, but you guys can be the deciding judge. You can decide that on your own and put in the comments down below what you guys think. Okay. The more perplexing thing is that we've never had a transgender woman win Miss Universe. So for him to make this statement, finally we have biological women. All the Miss Universe winners, and to my knowledge, have not been transgender. They were born women. They identify as women. I don't think any of them are on the non-binary. I don't think any of them are on the non-binary. So, to my knowledge, that statement doesn't even make any sense. And then furthermore, for Anne to post it on her story is more perplexing because Anne is a trans woman. I think a lot of us felt like because Anne is a trans woman, it's going to definitely foster a space for safe diversity and inclusion measures and practices, and people of all different backgrounds will be extraordinarily welcomed, given that we assumed, being a trans woman, that she would have faced her own struggles and she could relate to the plight of people who were in similar shoes as herself in terms of their identity, and she would be accepting of them in the Miss Universe organization. Surprisingly, it's starting to seem like it's the opposite, you guys. I think money and attention seem to supersede ethics and morals for this organization at this current moment. So yeah, it's a little bit questionable, and it's a little bit sad to see. So that got people mad. Moving forward from that, the amount of contestants who are so unhappy is insane. There have been a perplexing amount of contestants who have came out about the Miss Universe organization and their experience during the 2024 edition of Miss Universe. So Miss Fiji alleged that the experience was not good. She encouraged her sisters to come out and speak their truth, and she even said that if she had a daughter, she would not let her daughter come to Miss Universe because the experience was that bad.
I think it's very important that collectively all of us girls come together and speak out on our experiences and how not so empowering it was for us. And yeah, this organization is not it. I wouldn't even let my own daughter do Miss Universe as long as this organization is in charge. So someone needs to do something about it.
So Shika, who is the Miss Universe Fiji queen, she's the one who came out and said this, and she's not the only one who's reporting some wild things. Miss Universe Costa Rica came out with several different accusations saying that the way things were run were really poorly. It was really stressful for a lot of the girls. A lot of the girls could not eat well, or they were not eating well. Miss Universe Puerto Rico said that she was literally in the hospital up until the night of the finales, and she had to sign herself out the hospital to make it to the finale. So people were reporting sickness from either the water or the food, allegedly. I'm not trying to get a lawsuit. So allegedly, I'm not saying any of this is factual. I'm saying all this is alleged. And it just seems like every day we turn around, there is more and more reports, more than usual. I think every edition has had some qualms, and every edition has had some contestants say a few things. Inevitably, shows like these are not going to run 100% to plan, and there might be some slip up and holes. And so no one is saying that the Miss Universe organization needs to be perfect, but it's starting to seem that they were not just perfect, but maybe a little bit catastrophic. It seems a little bit catastrophic, and it puts a big concern, because can they handle the capacity of contestants that they're inviting to the competition and still give them fair and equal treatment? Can they, the fact that they were locked up in their hotel rooms for most of the time is already concerning. But then furthermore, the fact that we're getting reports of them allegedly being sick and allegedly not having a good time, or mistreatment and maltreatment, is really concerning as well. So, it just puts a lot of things into question regarding the entire competition. Then, talking about the competition and putting things into question, we cannot talk about this without talking about the Hulu documentary about Cracks in the Crown. So Cracks in the Crown was a documentary that was recently dropped on Hulu regarding the Miss Universe organization and the Miss USA organization, and it made a lot of alleged accusations regarding the Miss Universe organization as well as the Miss America organization. Long story short, this documentary, I can't even really put it into summary, because there were so many accusations to the Miss Universe organization, the Miss USA organization, that I don't even know where to begin. A lot of them are things that we have already maybe heard, but some of them are even new discoveries to myself regarding Raul, the new organizer. There was accusations that allegedly Miss Universe organization had stole like $500,000 from this Peruvian mogul who not Peruvian, I apologize, this mogul from Paraguay. Just so many different accusations. Since the documentary's outing, Miss Universe has made a statement saying that these claims are defamatory, and that they will be proceeding with legal actions against this news outlet who formed and organized this documentary. So I would say that the only reason why Miss Universe would push for a case against this news outlet for defamation is if some things aren't completely true. At the end of the day, if they are true, there's not really much of a case that the Miss Universe organization can make. So I would assume that with their legal expertise and the alleged money that they do or don't have, I don't know, that they would be able to hire a legal counsel that would be able to provide them with correct guidance. So part of me is wondering how much of the documentary got it right and how much of it was wrong. I'm sure there's some truth allegedly in some of it, but maybe all of it is not correct, simply because I don't see why the Miss Universe organization would take legal action otherwise. People are saying they're taking legal action to trying to cover themselves up and make themselves look good. Yeah, but guys, you have to have a case to make in order to take legal action, and it's not cheap to take legal action. So I would assume if they had no case to make, their legal team wouldn't advise them to move forward with legal action, right? They probably would just say, leave it alone and, take it from a PR media stance. How can we correct this and cover it up? So that's one thing. The second thing is Luis Portales made a video about the drama going on at Miss Universe and said that he was reached out to by this documentary, the Cracks in the Crown documentary, to come and speak about some issues regarding the Miss Universe organization, but he declined because he felt like the email that he received from this from the journalist who were covering the story was not objective. He said pretty much that he didn't feel that they were coming at it with an objective standpoint, and that rather they had some, I guess, underlining tone in the email that implied that they had a direction they wanted to take this documentary, and it seemingly was that they wanted to take it in a more of a negative direction. They wanted to paint the Miss Universe organization and Miss USA organization in a negative light, regardless of what the truth may or may not be. And so for that reason, Luis Portales decided to withhold from the documentary and not partake in it. So that also kind of brings into question how much of this documentary is true and how much of it is not. I'm not going to tell you guys my opinion on whether I think things are true or not, because there's no way to really, we'll find out in court. If they do take it to court, we'll find out how much of this is true. These accusations from the documentary is true and how much of it is not. And that will be that. Last thing I can think of right now is a video on TikTok that's going pretty viral of the current Miss Universe Victoria saying a racially charged and discriminatory word towards the Black community here in the US. So yes, unfortunately, there's a video of her that surfaced of her saying the N-word, and she's lip syncing it to the song New York by Alicia Keys and Jay-Z. And again, I'm going to report to you what people are saying, and then I'll put my opinion at the end. So some people are reporting that they feel like Victoria is from Denmark. She's not from the US. She doesn't know these things. People are saying, well, how many Americans know about the history of Denmark and what's offensive to people, to Danish people or people of other countries? So why would it be expected that they would know, or Victoria would know herself, what is offensive to Americans or a certain community or people group in America? Guys, I want to just say, as someone who grew up in the US, that this word carries a lot of weight. And it is a big no-no. If you are not part of the Black community, the African American community here in the US, it's a big no-no. You do not touch that word. You don't say that word. You don't lip that word. You don't utter that word. You don't think that word. It's not for you. And this is not a history class. So I do implore you, however, to go educate yourself on the history of the word and how it's been used to pretty much undermine the African American and Black community here in the US and completely discriminate against them, and how it's been used in just intolerable ways towards this community, unfortunately. And so they have reclaimed that word, and I won't speak over the community, the Black community, so because I'm not part of it. So I don't want to speak too much to it, because I would rather, they can speak for themselves, and I'd rather amplify their voices instead of trying to speak for them. But long story short, in America, in the US, in our culture, you do not say it, period. And that's where the other side of people are. The other side of people are like, what did she just say? Because after she posted it, she kept it up for several days. She did not delete it, which people are saying she didn't delete it because she didn't know, despite the amount of comments that are there. And people are like, well, she's Miss Universe. She doesn't read the comments. She's busy. And people are like, well, where is her PR team? Do they not read the comments? Which is, it's a fair point. Where is her PR team? Where is her social media team? Where is the cultural and engagement chair of Miss Universe? Let me get to that. Let me get ahead of myself. So there's a lot of TikToks that are being made pretty much calling out Victoria for this video, and it's not good. I'll tell you right now, if Miss Universe's goal was to get back into the dying pageant world market in the US, they're doing a horrible job. If anything, they're just killing the interest and the market for Miss Universe in the United States with that video. They're completely demolishing it. I'm telling you, they're going to paint a very negative light. Any stereotype that Americans have about Miss Universe and pageantry and about how it subjugates women to a misogyny, it's just going to further perpetuate that. Any stereotypes that people have that Miss Universe is racist as an organization and they don't value women of color, it's going to further perpetuate that. Here's my opinion. Where is their cultural engagement and cultural chair? Where is their social media and PR team? In the event, let's just play semantics and say that Miss Universe herself was not aware of the weight of this word. Okay? I don't know her. I don't know what she is not aware of. If a Miss Universe is going to go to multiple countries, which she's going to go to like 30 something plus countries, Kunan said, it is imperative that you inform your Miss Universe of the do's and don'ts of the country she is visiting. Because she was in New York, because she was in the US when she filmed that video, it is completely unacceptable. I mean, it wouldn't matter where she is anywhere in the world. She shouldn't say it. But especially because she's in the country where this is such a big issue, what? Where is her team to inform her, hey girl, you can't say that. If you don't know, now you know. Okay, now you know. If you don't know, now you know. Where is her team? Who even let her post that? And you know what's more insulting is that one of the former, we've had Black queens. Okay, I won't say African American because not all of them were African American, but we've had Black queens. I mean, our first runner up this year was Miss Universe Nigeria, was a very dark skinned Black woman, and we had Zozobini Tuni. Again, she was a very dark skinned, beautiful, gorgeous Black woman from South Africa. And we have also had Miss Universe Angola. She was a Miss Universe, Leila Lopez, beautiful, 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 beautiful Black Angolan woman. And many others as well who have either been close to the crown, competed, or have won the crown. Swan NYC, which is one of the former managers of Miss Universe, who I think has retired since. She was someone who would always accompany the girls of the Miss Universe title holder and just be like pretty much like a mom to them and a family member. She is a Black woman as well, and she was an integral part of the Miss Universe organization. And to see your Universe organization not be careful about something that is such a big topic and issue in the country that they are taking their Miss Universe, and to see furthermore that the issue that they're neglecting and not highlighting is one that impacts certain members that either had left their legacy on the Miss Universe organization or had competed recently at the Miss Universe organization, is just disappointing. It's unexcusable. Your Miss Universe, if she's not competent, you got to get her competent. If she's not aware, you need to make her aware. If she's not educated, if she's uneducated, you need to get her educated, especially when she is in that country of origin. You know what I'm saying? If there are certain cultural things you don't do in a certain country and your Miss Universe goes there, she needs to be privy to that. Do you know what I'm saying? For us as Indians, if she came into India and like a bikini and like a mini skirt, it would be a little bit off-putting for some people in my culture. Does that make sense? So it's like you wouldn't go to India and say, "Hi, curries. Hi. Oh my God. Oh my God, it smells like curry in here." Like, that would be very like, what did she just say? Does that make sense? Does that make sense? It's just the fact that even if you make the argument she doesn't know or she didn't know, where's her team? She's since taken it down. But the thing is, when you put something on the internet, it's there. And it's there. People have already screen recorded. They've already stitched it. They've already made TikToks of it and blew it up. And as they really honestly should. Because this is what the Miss Universe organization needs to start learning. They need to start quickly learning that they are not just some type of like, if they want longevity in their organization, and they want to grow furthermore their organization in different countries, they need to start respecting the culture and educating their queen about the norms of certain cultures of the countries that she's visiting, and also really mandate her social media and what she's doing and vetting it to make sure that it is appropriate. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing they just don't have a cultural chair who looks at these things and make sure everything is appropriate, and maybe gives Miss Universe a rundown of the country she's going to and gives her a little bit of like a history lesson, or do's and don'ts and norms and what's acceptable and what's unacceptable. And it is important. I'm sorry, if you want to be a Miss Universe, you are now a global, universal world ambassador. So if you want to take on that responsibility, it's not too much to ask for the queen to be competent in these things. It's not. It shouldn't be. If you feel like it's too much for you to be educated on other cultures, do's and don'ts, then maybe Miss Universe is not the job for you. You're welcome to stay anywhere else where it doesn't require, or have a job anywhere else where it doesn't require cultural competency. But Miss Universe is not that job. It's just not. You have it to the point where people now are demanding Miss Nigeria replace Miss Denmark or Victoria as Miss Universe because they're so upset. Whether or not you, as who is watching me, feels like it's an issue or not, you can put that in the comments down below. Don't attack me or my opinion. You're welcome to have your own separate opinion. It doesn't have to attack mine, though, to do that. So just have your own separate opinion. Guys, these topics are very sensitive. These topics are very triggering to a lot of people. These topics are very emotionally draining for a lot of people as well. Miss Universe has done a horrendous job with its management, with its PR team, with its social media chair, with its cultural competency, and it hasn't even been a month. I mean, it's honestly ridiculous. So, guys, this is a lot heavier of a video than I usually like to do, and I was really trying to be careful with my choice of words here. So if you guys liked this video, I hope you did. I'm sorry if it didn't live up to your expectations, but if you like this video, you guys, then go ahead and give it a thumbs up. And also, if you want to join the Reynarant family, go ahead and hit the subscription button. My Instagram will be linked in the description box down below, as well as the pinned comment section. I would love for you guys to join my Reynarant family, but if not, no worries, and thank you for stopping by. Bye.